Well, should we get started? It looks like this is
Yes.
everybody.
That's good.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time out to attend this presentation. I'd like to introduce myself, and my name is Noreen Griffin. I'm a benefits specialist with Regional Government Services. And I'd also like to introduce Richard Blut. Richard has been working closely with Assistant City Manager Matt Mogensen and his staff to develop a website, a new benefits website, and open enrollment process. And the goal is to make it easier for employees to access their benefits information. You can go to the website and log in there, and there's a lot of different information and forms. So some housekeeping this morning. Please mute your microphone. If you have any questions, use the chat button. We will check that button, the questions, and respond accordingly. And also the meeting is being recorded. So what we're going to go over today are a couple of things. What's new this year? The online open enrollment process, view your benefits information and online enrollment change forms that are available now on the city's benefits site. The various medical plan options available to you through CalPERS Health. The dental and vision plans, and a summary of the dental and vision plans. We'll talk about flexible spending accounts. And I'd also like to welcome and introduce Daniel Eads, who's here from AFLAC. He's the city's representative, and he's going to give a brief overview of the products available through AFLAC to city employees. On the next slide, we're going to go over what's the open enrollment process itself. So open enrollment is now open. It opened on Monday, and it's open through October 14th. So this is your opportunity. It's a once a year opportunity to make changes without a life qualifying event to your benefits. You can enroll in a health plan if you're not already enrolled in one. You can change medical plans. You can drop your health plan if you have alternate coverage. You can add or delete dependents from medical, dental, or vision plans. You can enroll in the city's flexible spending accounts. And you can also enroll in voluntary life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance. And our next slide, we're going to talk about what's new this year. So the first thing is that we've developed a website, and that website has benefit plan information and open enrollment forms, and they're available on the city's website. That's the address, but you can just go to HR, click on the benefits link, and then you'll see an open enrollment page. You just click on that, and there's a ton of information. There's an employee benefits guide, there's the premiums, there are summaries of coverage, there's insurance information. It covers pretty much all of the benefits that you have as a city employee. So health enrollment, flexible spending accounts, health and dependent care, and voluntary life insurance forms can be completed online. That's new this year. And basically what we're doing is we have separate forms, and we'll go through that process on the next slides, but we will have a separate form for each. You'll have a separate form for health enrollment, a separate form for flexible spending account, and a separate form if you want to enroll in the voluntary benefits life insurance. Enrollment forms should be submitted to the new email address, which is benefits@cityofmarina.org. And any questions that you have, just email, send a message to that email address, and we will respond. We're going to be checking that on a daily basis. If you don't have any changes, and this is something that's new this year, you don't have to do anything. If you're not enrolling, if you're not making any changes to your medical, dental, or vision plans, if you're not enrolling in flexible spending account, and you're not enrolling in life insurance, you don't have to do anything. What will occur is that your benefits will roll over into the next year, effective January 1. On the next slide, we will talk about, this is a screenshot of what the page looks like. So as you can see, you're in the HR benefits page, and then there's an arrow that clicks you to the 2023 open enrollment information. You click on that, And it shows you open enrollment plan for 2023. That's kind of a little brief screenshot. There's a lot more information on there. There's the benefits guide. There's open enrollment presentation slides, which will be today's slide. And this gives employees an opportunity to view benefits with their spouse or significant other from home. So you can just go in here and look around, look at what your benefits are, what your coverages are, if you want to make changes, discuss them with your partner. So I think this is a really good page for employees to look at and review. On the next slide, we're going to talk about our medical plans. So in 2023, we have Anthem Blue Cross Select HMO. The Anthem Blue Cross traditional HMO plan is no longer available in the Monterey County region, but they are offering a Blue Shield Trio HMO plan. Kaiser, PERS Gold, PERS Platinum, PORAC, and I would encourage employees, if they're enrolled in a plan, the traditional plan, to go on the CalPERS website. You can look up plans by zip code to make sure that your provider, you can look up what plans are available to you by zip code, and then also you can search for by provider to make sure that your doctor is in that participating plan. On the next page, we're going to talk about rate changes. So there have been increases in rates for 2023. The select plan went up 11.3%. Trio is brand new, so that expanded to the Monterey County region and other counties as well. PERS Gold went up a whopping 17.74%, and PERS Platinum 13.54%. So those are things to keep in mind. I was looking through the Blue Shield Trio HMO, and that plan seems to be pretty reasonably costed. It's not as expensive as one of the lower cost plans. If you're interested in that, do some research by going on the PERS website and to see if your provider is in participating in there, if you want to keep your same doctor. And because since it's new to the county, they may not have a lot of participating providers in the plan. So on the next page, we're going to look at the rates. So these are the rates by bargaining unit and directors, MEA, MMEA, MPSMA, and MPFFA. You can compare these rates with the rates that are already posted on the benefits page for this current year. Keep in mind also that, well, we'll talk about that on the next slide. So this is for Police Officers Association. They have a couple different plans. They have PORAC, and they also are offered Kaiser. But they also have PERS Platinum, Anthem Blue Cross Select, and the Blue Shield Trio HMO. Each employee, other than those in the POA bargaining unit, receive a monthly health allowance. And this is what I was mentioning in that prior slide, is that, and it's per bargaining unit. So that amount won't be reflected when you're filling out your forms. It won't be reflected in the form. That will be reflected on your paycheck. So it'll come out bi-weekly, because those are set amounts unless they're negotiated down the road by your bargaining unit. So basically, so this is a dental insurance coverage, and it's Premier Access. There's more information on the website. Your best discounted rates are if your dental provider is in the PCN plan. What's really good about this plan, and it's a little unusual, is that if you have a participating provider that's out of network, they cover, especially for class 1 preventive, they cover 100%. And also they model the PPO where they give 80 versus 90. But for the best deal, I would go with make sure your provider is in the PCN network, because that's where you're going to get the most money for your buck, basically. But this is based on a calendar year, so your benefits start in January and through December. And Any questions about any of those, please let me know. So on our next slide, we're going to look at your VSP vision plan. The VSP vision plan is a little different because it's on a rolling 12-month cycle. So for example, if your services were in July of 2022, you're not eligible for your examination until July 2023. So just keep that in mind. VSP Vision is a really large network, and it has a very, very large participating provider group. It's a very good plan. $20 per exam, which is very reasonable. And then they do have an allowance of up to $150 for featured frame brands. So that's actually pretty generous. On the next slide, we will look at flexible spending accounts. So flexible spending accounts were set up by the IRS as a tool for employees to be able to set aside pre-tax dollars. They have two different kinds. They have the medical plan and they have dependent care. So medical is the pre-tax dollars are deducted from your paycheck to pay for out-of-pocket medical expenses. And the same for dependent care, pre-tax dollars from your paycheck to pay for qualified daycare expenses. Talking about medical, it's really good to look back at what your costs, out-of-pocket costs were last year if you're interested in enrolling in a flexible plan. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. And so, for example, your maximum for the medical is $2,160 a year, which equates to $90 per pay cycle. And then the carryover amount, how this plan is set up, is that if you have an unused amount, $500 is the max unused amount at the end of this year, you're allowed to roll that over into the next year and use it. So, but if you have $1,000, then you need to use that extra $500. You have to use it before the end of the year. Otherwise, they have that use it or lose it clause. On the dependent care, the election maximum is $5,000 per family. There is no carryover amount and there's no grace period. So your expenses have to occur within the calendar year. That's before December 31st, 2022, but you can submit claims for expenses during this calendar year up to 90 days after, so up into March. Keep in mind that flexible spending accounts do not roll over from year to year. If you're currently enrolled in a flexible spending account, then you do not automatically enroll in it for 2023. You have to complete a form giving the city and payroll permission to deduct a certain amount of money from your account. So if you're interested, please fill out the flexible spending account. There's a fillable form online and it's very easy to fill out. If you have any questions when you're completing it and you're unsure, just email benefits@cityofmarina.org. On the next slide, we will talk about the open enrollment and online forms.
We have a question.
Okay.
Is the FSA rollover new?
No, I saw that in the plan document. So that FSA rollover is part of your plan document. And I know that during COVID, the IRS made some accommodations to employees and to the FSA plans, allowing them to roll it over into the, like from 2021 into 2022 for plans that didn't have a rollover option. But that was, I don't think that is no longer implemented, but your plan is set up. And I believe that's why you have a set maximum of 2160, how it's set, because the IRS maximum is a little higher than that. I think currently it's 2850, but you can roll over the 500 and that's how the plan is structured. Any other questions? No? So open enrollment and online forms. So the online forms are located on the city's HR benefits page. And that's the link, but you just go to your HR site, click on benefits and open enrollment. And then there's a form. There's actually, there are links with the title forms throughout the page. So if you click on it, it'll take you right to the forms page. And there are 3 separate forms. So this is what's different this year. If you're making changes, adding a dependent, changing your plan, some people will be changing their plan because they're on that traditional plan. They're going to have to change their plan. So keep in mind that you fill out the benefits enrollment form. And then it's a self-populating form. It's pretty user-friendly. You just select the plan. And then there's a little window that drops down. I think you have a sample there, Richard, do you, off the form itself? Yes. So the form on the left is the enrollment form. So that, as you can see, there's dental, vision, medical, and then there's all the different medical options. And then you can't see, it's kind of cut off, but on the very right corner, there's a little drop down. And when you select which level, whether it's a single, 2-party, or family level, it will populate the amount, the cost, your cost, which means not the cost to the employer, but the employer minus the city's contribution. And the same for your vision and then medical. And then all you have to do is click on I elect to enroll, click on employee signature, put in your name, click on date, and then just save and email it to benefits@cityofmarina.org. So flexible spending account, the same concept. And there was a sample of that form on the prior slide. Life insurance enrollment form, also same concept. So discovery is the flexible, the middle form is your flexible spending account form. That's also self-fillable. You just have to put in your name, social, the amount that you're electing, and you can either opt for a flexible spending account as well as dependent care if you're going to do both, or either or. And then with the insurance, it's through the standard insurance company. You have to check, and that information is on the website, but check to see which bargaining unit and what your maximum allowance is for voluntary life insurance, and fill that out. That will go to the standard underwriting group, and they will approve it, and they may request a physical examination because it's not at issue. So, and on to the next slide. Excuse me. Contact HR benefits at benefits@cityofmarina.org. So this email address was set up to make it easy for employees to submit questions, their forms, etc. I have to drink some water. On to the next slide. So this is your open enrollment checklist. The deadline is October 14th, 2022. Visit the city's benefit page for information about your current benefits. If you have changes, select and complete the appropriate form and email it to the benefits email address for processing. Excuse me. Confirm your dependents. Are you covering dependents that are no longer eligible? Do you need to add an eligible family member? And elect your healthcare and dependent care flexible spending contributions. They don't roll over from year to year. And again, this year, what's new, if you don't have any changes, you're not enrolling and making any changes to your benefits, you're not enrolling in flexible spending account, you don't have to do anything. Your plan, your current stance plan will go into next year. What I would like to remind people is if there are any employees who are enrolled in the traditional Anthem Blue Cross traditional plan, they will definitely need to make a change. And our next slide are questions. Actually, I think that Richard wanted to send out a poll to see which plans employees are enrolled in. And if you want to participate in that, it's really easy. You just have to click on the plan and hit submit. Is that working, Richard?
No, it's not relaunching now. Just one more try. It's airing out, so we'll pass on that part. So we'll go ahead and
Any more questions?
Daniel.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Daniel. It's all yours, Daniel. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And if you have any questions after you leave this presentation, please make sure to contact us at benefits@cityofmarina.org.
Sorry, Daniel, I think you're on mute if you're talking.
Daniel, you're on mute. There. No, you're still on mute. Richard, can you unmute Daniel?
No, it just has a request to Daniel there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're still muted, Daniel. You want to maybe log out and come back in?
Oh, he's fine.
Oh,
He's
there it
unmuted
goes.
now.
There you
Hey,
go.
Sorry
there you
about that,
go. It's all yours.
So many shifting parts with the virtual world here. Sorry, I'm answering emails. I apologize about that, but you
That's
guys can
okay.
do this right. I'll make it real brief. This is our open enrollment date for AFLAC. Again, we're separate. We complement what you currently have with your major medical, dental, and all of that. So these are the dates. You'll get an email, a flyer, and a communication piece from your department heads, you know, about when we'll be on site to meet with employees to go over the benefits. So what I'd like to do is just give a little bit of history about AFLAC, right? We're the #1 provider in the US marketplace. So corporately, and this is the reason I share this, it's really pertinent because this is a growing vast field in the market and why we're #1. So we partner with 465,000 US businesses. We insure 50 million people worldwide, and we've been doing it for 65 years. So it just says a lot about what we have and what we do. And the great thing about AFLAC, what's really key, is we're not health insurance, right? We're insurance for daily living. So with your great benefits that you have through the city or whoever you have that through, your health insurance pays cash directly to the doctors, to the physicians, all of that. Well, if you have an AFLAC coverage, it pays cash directly to you. And once a policy goes into effect, like I was looking on the name list, most people have AFLAC benefits that are attending. You get everything at a group discount, but you own the policy, not the city of Marina. So it goes with you, which is really key. So it even goes with you if you leave the city of Marina or you retire. And we do not coordinate with any benefits that you have now or in the future. So this is really key within insurance. You know, people don't realize that insurance, there's coordination of benefits. AFLAC doesn't do it. And because of our mass scale, we're affordable. And once your policies go into effect, AFLAC has never raised rates on existing policyholders since they opened their doors in 1955. And we process most claims when we have the information within 4 to 8 business days. So these are just some of the bullet points, is that they're individual. Each policy is a la carte. You own it, and there's no limitation to filing a claim. With health, dental, all of that, you have a very narrow window to file a claim. In the normal group market, with us, there is no window. We can go back and get claims paid if we have the documentation, right? And this kind of shows how major medical pays the doctors, all of that. And what I kind of point out when I meet with clients is, what about the unknown? So if something happens to you or a loved one, how do you pay for copays, deductibles, travel expenses, out of pocket, or even the mortgage, rent, your living expenses? Where does the money go? And that seems to be the big case as we're seeing the landscape change. And this is really our storefront, right? Aflac offers a lot of different benefits. We do offer life insurance. Again, it's a standalone. They call it a voluntary benefit, which it is, but it actually, you own that policy, every single one. So ours doesn't require fluid exams like blood, anything like that. We just ask medical questions. We offer short-term disability. And again, meet with us during open enrollment. Every bargaining unit has different things. We deal with a lot of public sector. We'll make sure that we provide information that's available to you, and we don't coordinate. So if you've got sick leave, you've got PTO, you've got all of that, we don't coordinate with that. We have a dental that complements a current primary plan. You can go to any dentist in the country. We don't coordinate with your current robust plan that you currently have, and we pay cash either to you or the dentist. We have vision, and then we have what we call strategy 1, strategy 2. So each one of these are a la carte, and cancer is a separate policy. Critical care pays cash benefits, hospital. And let me go into a little bit more detail. So here's how our whole life works. We do from 20,000 to 500. We can insure your spouse. If you're over 50, we can do 200,000, and everything comes off of your paycheck, right? So the whole life does build cash value over time. We also offer term life. Same criteria as far as face value, from 20,000 to 500,000. We can insure your spouse as well. We can insure children under the ages of 18. So we have some just unique things that we can do within life insurance if that's of interest for you, right? The other one we talk about is disability, right? When people get sick or injured and they can't go to work, you know, what happens? We'll talk to you about that briefly during open enrollment. And some employees, the city of Marina, have this, and they've utilized it, right? So here's the accident plan. This, and I'm going through this pretty quick because a lot of you know this, but these are the dollar amounts that we pay out. So if you have an accident, we pay $125 for the first visit. We'll pay $35 for the next 6 follow-up visits. We'll pay $35 for 10 physical therapy visits. If you're hospitalized, we pay $1,250 the first day and $250 every day thereafter up to a year. Even ICU, we have accidental some specific sums from $35 up to $12,500, accidental death, and so much more. And this is per occurrence, per individual. So you can have an accident every week of the month, every month of the year for the rest of your life, and we'll pay you out each time. So there's no limitation, right? Here is the one with the hospital plan. It has different confinement benefits, if that's a concern for you, where you're in a bed more than 23 hours and you want other additional benefits as far as, let's say, CAT scans, MRIs, all of that. We have those built into the policies that you can pick and choose. So we'll go into more detail, but we encourage the employees to meet with us because we're like what Noreen is doing. We're really massive on education because you're seeing the healthcare landscape change every year, right? With things going up and coverage getting, you know, where things aren't covered. Here's how the cancer plan works, right? If you're diagnosed with internal cancer, we pay out $4,000. Plus all these other benefits that go with it. And a lot of you know my story, right? And what's so unique about this is I'm 66, which I'm on Medicare. I already have my plans in place before I hit 64. And that's the critical thing with Aflac in California. To get a new Aflac benefit through the employer, you have to be between the ages of 18 and 64. If you're beyond that, now you've aged out. If you currently have Aflac benefits, now it's guaranteed renewable for life at the same monthly rate. So I'm paying the same rates that I did 20 years ago. Here's the other category, critical illness. If you have a heart attack, stroke, coronary artery bypass, kidney failure, human organ transplant, we'll pay $7,500 on the first occurrence, $300 per day while you're in the hospital, as long as you're in there. We'll pay also on an intensive care benefit of $800 for the first week per day, and then $1,300 on week 2 per day. And there's no lifetime maximum on these, which is really a key term with insurance, and all these other benefits that go with it. And then here's our dental supplemental. It starts out at $1,200 per year that we pay out towards dental procedures that Aflac has on the schedule. And that increases every year, and that's per person. So on the 5th year, it pays out $1,700. So it complements the current primary plan of $2,000 that you have through the city. No network, no rate increases, you know, all of those things, just waiting periods. And then our vision plan goes side by side if you need it. Again, these aren't replacing your primary plans, it goes with it. So we'll pay towards eye examinations, we'll do towards glasses, frame and lenses, but it even covers visual impairment and even eye diseases. So if you have a loss of vision to total blindness, we pay $10,000 per eye, right? And a lot of people think, what does this cost? You know, well, here is kind of our price sheet that we look at. Most of these are pre-taxed, and that rate is locked in. So I'm paying the same rate I did 20 years ago when I was an employee working for an employer. I just took it with me, right? And so it just gives you an idea. You can still customize within each of these categories. So I kind of took the middle, so we can go down, we can go up. And that's where we benefit with meeting with you to really educate you on how these work. And if you don't want it, we're okay, right? That's the beautiful thing of what we do. And I'm going to ask you to take out your phones real quick if you can, and you can snap that QR code, take a picture of it, and it'll take you right to our landing page. And it is an actual video with each category. It has the actual brochure that you can download. So if some of you want to do some research ahead of time before open enrollment, you have access to it. Again, this will be sent out to everyone in an email blast. I just thought I'd encourage you to go ahead and jump on it. Some of you who are currently attending do have Aflac benefits. We want to make sure you meet with us because you have money coming to you as far as wellness benefits. So what we do, our fiduciary responsibility is to make sure you get the money, you have potential claims, and you get paid, right? So that is really why we want to meet with you going forward. And also too, things might have changed within your life, right? So that's how we work. Real quick, real simple. Thank you for your time, Marina. I'll give it back to you. You're on mute as well, just
Oh,
like
there you go. Thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate it. I had a question. Do you schedule one-on-one meetings with employees, or do you come out to the city and schedule group meetings? Is that
we
how?
do one-on-ones to the different department heads.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect.
there'll be a team of us, so that typically we like to meet for about 30 minutes privately. And that way we can personalize that benefit education. And then if they currently have anything, go over it. And that's where they can make the changes, you know, or keep, delete, add, or just waive.
Okay. And so are all employees required to attend those one-on-one
The
meetings?
best
or is
business
it
practice, yeah, because of what we've kind of let HR know and the department heads, is that it's a pre-tax benefit. So our fiduciary responsibility is to do the 125 best business is make sure we collect like you do on everyone. If they waive out, they just sign off.
Oh, okay.
That way we've got it and protects really the city of Marina and the employee, and it just keeps things going. So that's why we really do want to see everyone on the one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
And those who want to waive, it takes a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. And then are a lot of employees participating in the
Yeah.
Aflac programs that you offer? Oh,
We
okay.
do.
Oh, okay.
So we send out benefit letters, which is ahead of time that says what they have. We send out wellness forms. So we're always looking at communication tools
Mhm.
that employees can look at. And again, we're here locally. So
Okay.
our agency is entrenched in the city. I've got my sons living in City Marina. I live in Monterey, others live
Mhm.
in Seaside. So we're here to answer questions, meet even during the year, face to face.
Okay. And then you coordinate with the payroll department to take those pre-tax dollars so that it's already
Correct,
set
but
up in their
Janet,
payroll system. Okay.
once we're finished, we give it to her on a platter, and then she's able to input that and make sure
Okay.
that those changes are effective January 1st.
Okay. Well, thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Daniel? Well, I believe this ends our presentation. Richard, I'm not sure if you have anything to add. Do we have any other questions? I'm happy to answer them.
No,
No?
everybody, no one?
So we're going to have another presentation on Monday, September 29th, I believe. I know that a notice went out and it was October, but open enrollment's over by then. So it's next Monday. So if for those of you who have not been able to attend or any of your coworkers